G'day everybody. Lovely Sunday today. Sun shining after a day of rain yesterday, or 2 days of rain. Beautiful, calm, fine day at the beach today. Anyway, as I may have mentioned in one of my other videos, I'm going on a big adventure ride in the South Island of New Zealand in 10 days time. It's the ride itself is 1400 k's, but it's another 1000 k's there and back just to get there. So we're riding all the way down and all the way back. So yeah, it's a 2-day ride just to get to the venue, get to the event. 2 days home, 3 days on the event, so I'm going to be away for a week. Anyway, the purpose of today's mission is to go to my brother's place, because he's a motorcycle mechanic as well as a veteran motorcycler, done all different types of motorcycling, from adventure riding to track days, trail riding, enduro riding, motocross, and he's got a nice big workshop at his place. So we're going to prepare the bike, make sure all the bolts are tight, and change the oil, get the tyres, put the right tyres on, and make sure we're all ready to go so we don't fall apart on the way or during the event. Frustrating, really. Anyway, I'm stopping in a minute, then I'll catch up. By the time I catch up to these cars, there'll be passing lanes. If we go up over a hill, we rise to about 1500 feet. It's called the Kaimai Ranges. So as we go up this side of the ranges, it's quite a gentle climb, and there's some long passing lane straights we can go up and get past all these cars. We'll just stop here. My neutral light switch isn't working properly. Right. Glove off. Now my handy little vest I've got on here, I happen to have a knife and a pair of scissors. My Leatherman. To tape that down somehow when I get there. Anyway, that'll stop me going nuts with that bloody thing waving in my face. Oh, I'm singing again. I am the moon, you are the words, I am the singing. Good old Neil Diamond. Haven't heard this one before. Is it one of his new ones or just an old one that I've forgotten? I think it might be an old one I've forgotten actually. You are the sun, I am the moon. We're off. actually this is the guy that was doing, he was the guy who was doing 60 k's on the straights. That guy's got a few more brains. Yeah, it's a really nice biking ride, this one. Pity there's so much traffic on it. Yeah, just thinking about this adventure ride that I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks. I've only ever done one adventure ride before. It was 700 k's and it was extremely wet, and I had the wrong tyres on the bike, and there was, on the second day there was a large section of it through farmland, through very wet grass, clay, muddy farmland, and I had to miss that section out because I just simply couldn't stay upright. However, anything that was on gravel or seal like this, it was great. So I think I probably did 500 or 600 of the 700 k's of the ride. So I had a taste of it, and I found out a lot about myself. And the first thing is that it takes a lot of mental strength, because the first day was 12 hours riding. It was very strenuous because I kept falling off on the wet, muddy, slippery bits. I was absolutely exhausted, so I learnt that next time I do an adventure ride I've got to be more physically fit. I'm nowhere near as fit as I could be, but I'm certainly better, a lot fitter than I was then. It does take a toll on your body. I found that I'm pretty sure it's through poor riding technique, but my legs, my shins on both legs got really, really painful. Like, so painful I couldn't walk. It was okay riding, sitting, but I couldn't stand on the pegs. And when I hopped off the bike I couldn't walk, which made falling off a lot more difficult than it needed to be. So I'm aware of that. I suppose it's about being aware of your own limits. And when I did that ride, I had no idea what my limits were. This ride is twice the length, 1400 k's over 3 days. It will be dry, I think. We're going into one of the driest regions of New Zealand in the summer, the Mackenzie country it's called. It's high altitude, reasonably high altitude, barren, rocky, dry terrain, subalpine really, I think. No, and frankly, I've never been there. Hey, people who do that put their brakes on when you're right up their arse. They want you to pass the tyres, or especially a rear tyre. I'm expecting to only have to replace the rear tyre once. I've only got 35 horsepower and I won't be spinning up the back wheel too much. And I'll be taking it easy. I don't expect to be able to keep up with those guys, but I'll just latch on to some of the slower riders I think in the group. We'll see how we go. So the plan is to ride down to Wellington, bottom end of the North Island, and I'll ride on the current tyres. I've got a new TKC, Continental TKC 80 on the back now. Oh, excuse me, something in my throat. I've got an old original tyre on this bike actually on the front. It's a Dunlop a K750 I think it's called. Bloody awful thing. It's good on the road though, but it's hopeless off-road. So I'll wear that out, probably. Which I might not. I know my brother's organised me a new tyre to take with us for the event, for the bag, and I think we might be putting a new TKC80 on the front today, actually. Got a bit confused, but you know, he's organised everything for me. Because he's a motorbike, he's in the trade. He's a motorbike mechanic, and he does a lot of bikes. He's managed to get all my parts for me, my air filter, oil, tyres, can't remember what else I asked for. But he's got that all from me, from his supplier. So we'll get most of that fitted today, and I do, thinking about it, I think we're putting a TKC80 on the front. So he said that that'll get me down to the event. It'll last the whole 3 days of the event, so it'll get me home again as well. But I will have to change the rear tyre for the event, so that's the plan. Alright, there's two ways to go from here, but I'm going to take you up a little back road that used to be my favourite when I was a kid, learning to drive. A 15-year-old, we used to be able to get our driver's license at 15 back in those days, and this was what a road I went on every day to go to school. Awesome. In my little Volkswagen, I had a 1961 Volkswagen Beetle. Used to handle beautifully once you got the hang of it. It's like driving a Porsche 911. I thought it was anyway, but no, similar thing. All your weight in the back, amazing traction. I wasn't too keen on going around corners. So light in the front, the old Volkswagen. It was a good car to learn to drive in, actually. Taught you a few tricks that you don't get in a normal car, modern car certainly. Ran out of oil on top of that hill, blew up the engine, the air-cooled engine. Yeah, ran out of oil, called into that farm, because every farmer has oil, and blow me down. We called in there, and because we knew the guy, I mean, we knew everybody in this area when we were kids, and he didn't have any oil. Unbelievable. Farmer without oil. So we thought, actually he had some very light oil that he used for his milking machine. So we'll put a bit of that and that'll get us into town. It's my brother and me. And it lasted about 30 seconds and then the motor seized completely. And we were stuck. So we had to walk back to that guy's house, ring up Dad, tell him what had happened, get him to come and tow us home. Then we learned how to rebuild an engine. I think we had a spare engine at home actually. Had a whole spare car. I think Dad bought it for parts of the car that the same, I think it was 63, but it had the same running gear and same engine, same everything. But it had been rolled over. And we used to drive it around the farm, around Dad's farm, as it was in its rolled over condition, with the roof all stoved in and all the windows broken. That's a good way to learn to drive too. Learn to do wheelies, big power slides and drifts around the paddocks in the mud. Right, nearly there now.